that he's motivated to do exactly that for fans of America's team. Check it out.
As a competitor, you watch people celebrate and you watch people do what you want to do. There's not too many more things that lights a fire under you than somebody having what you want. And every year that we're not in the playoffs or we didn't make that run, that's just more fire to it. And you throw on there that I was holding my leg and didn't even have a chance to be out there while guys were doing what was taken away from me. I'm just excited to get out there and show you what this team is going to do. And the next big press conference we have is hopefully in another year after that big parade. So there you go.
That big parade, you can see how happy he is there. Shannon, right move or wrong move for Dak to be talking parade already?
My friend Skip Bayless says, why you got to talk about it? Just show us. Every time GOAT James does something, just show us, LeBron. You don't have to talk about it.
Am I putting Dak in the LeBron category?
Let me ask you a question.
Same sentence?
No.
Okay.
So why wasn't this talk the first 5 years? So
Good
now
question.
now you feel that you make $40 million like the Super Bowl is a given. So what happened the previous 5 years? I didn't hear him mention anything about no parade.
Nope.
I ain't mention anything about no big celebration. I ain't hear him mention anything about people doing things that when people do things or doing something that you love and you can't do, he didn't mention that.
Nope.
He gets $40 million and now all of a sudden, Super Bowl.
Okay, so you're saying bad idea?
Well, I don't get the benefit of him saying it. What does he think because saying it? Oh, I get it, Skip. I get the new mantra now is speaking into existence. I guess he's adopted LeVar Ball's theory.
Maybe.
I'm going to speak this into existence. I'm going to say something enough, and the universe will align, and it will happen. Just go do it. All he did, he became a salesman just like Jerry and Steven. He just got the delusional fan base of the Dallas Cowboys even more. You heard what Dak said? Dak said we gonna have a parade. Because that's what Jerry and Steven been saying for the last 25 years. I ain't seen no parade. Have they had a parade in Dallas anytime soon? I mean, ain't no bowl games. They didn't have, well, maybe the Rose Bowl. They didn't have even though the Rose Bowl was in Dallas, they didn't have the parade. So there ain't been a parade in Dallas in 26 years, Skip. Did y'all have a parade back then? Did they have a parade?
There was that St. Patrick's Day parade. Zeke was watching from up on the rooftop, and that was a bad time.
That might be what he's talking about. They might have a St. Patty's Day parade. Oh, okay. That's what he means.
Yeah.
Skip, I just think you just look, expectations are going to be there. You didn't need to mention that, Dak.
Yeah.
I think the expectations are when you make the kind of money that Jerry paid you, we know what the expectations are. I could have done without it, but if he's feeling confident, that's, he's like, I'm feeling good. I want to get back out there and show. But, and when I look at it, Skip, okay, are the Cowboys better than Tampa, Green Bay, Rams, 49ers, Seattle if Russ stays? Are they better than the Chiefs, Ravens, Bills, Browns, Tennessee, and the AFC? So by all indication, they're what? 9th, 10th, 11th, maybe 12th best team? So all of a sudden, Dak got $40 million. He about to pole vault all these teams. Okay.
When a question was asked of Jerry and Steven, are you guys going to win the NFC East next year? Dak did jump right in and say, yes. So at least he guaranteed that.
Maybe it's really the NFC East.
Philly, Giants, Washington.
He really went out on a limb, Skip, baby.
Okay, but you got to give him that. Okay, back to the question at hand. Obviously, he had premeditated this because he had time to think about it. He had 24 good hours to think it through and decide, I am going to plunge. I'm going all the way to Super Bowl parade in this press conference. I'm going to put my new money where my mouth is. And he did it. And I must admit, I loved it.
But?
There's a big but.
I knew it was coming.
It took guts. It took some gumption. It sent a great message to the locker room. Yeah, I got paid, but I'm going to pay everybody back with the Super Bowl parade. And by the way, just to make this clear, he was talking about the next big press conference we have is hopefully in another year after this, talking about the big parade. So there you go. Those were his last 4 words.
Right.
There you go. There you go.
Now, you want a big press conference after the game.
Woo. Okay. The problem is he's going to have to take it up a whole nother level of consistent play.
Correct.
I like to think of myself as an objective Cowboy fan, a consistently objective, and I tell you when I think they're horrible, and I tell you when I think they're great. And he has been mixed on his display of his capabilities. He's been shaky. He's been great. He's been hit. He's been miss. And he hasn't been nearly consistent enough to be talking about a Super Bowl at this point.
Right. So in other words, you don't believe that the way they're currently constructed, they can win a Super Bowl. Do you believe the team that they have right now can win a Super Bowl?
Now, Jerry, it's your turn because you do have some new money to play with in free agency. Can you fix your defense? Can you and Will McClay fix it on the fly in the draft? You have the 10th overall pick, and then you got the picks down the line.
But you want him to go, if you want him to be a player in free agency.
Absolutely. I want 2 significant defensive free agents.
Skip.
You have enough wherewithal.
They ain't got no money like that.
Yes, they do.
Skip, they got 6 to 10 million. They don't got 69 million like the Jets and the Jags.
You know how many guys are redoing as we speak? There were 3 yesterday.
Right.
And there'll be 3 more today. Just watch. You're going to hear.
So how much you think?
Zeke redid.
So how much you think they're going to? How much you think they're going to have to play?
I don't
20
know.
mil?
I mean, that just boggles my mind. But just watch. It's one of those years when, because the cap has shrunk so far, COVID-racked cap. That what do we say it was? The
182.
182.5.
Right.
Okay, 182.5. It's so low. It's 15 million less than it was a year ago.
Right.
That it's going to force a number of the free agents to say, I better take a 1-year deal, waiting for that new TV deal to hit where I can hit the market again when it's a bull market a year from now. So I think you can go get some bargains out there, and their window is open to me because Dak only counts 22.2. If you can explain that, that's a magic trick to me. 22.2. He's making 75.
So what you want him to get, though?
But he counts 22.2.
What you want him to get?
You mean what position?
Yeah.
Well, you need a defensive tackle and a safety for sure.
Okay.
And you could use a veteran corner, a Malcolm Butler type corner, just to bring a little savvy and experience to that room because you're likely going to have, if you take Patrick Surtain with the 10th overall, you're likely going to have 2 very young Bama quarterbacks at cornerback. Right. And you got Anthony Brown at the slot corner, but still, you need another veteran presence out in the room to use on third any passing down. Okay, and you need another stud tackle, maybe Sue. I don't know how much money he's going to command, but maybe Sue would be a good plug there.
Oh, you want Sue on the Cowboys, huh?
Why not? I mean, he can still go. He can still play. He can still hold that line.
He's better than the D tackle you guys got.
Okay, so the point is, I love it that he plunged with this because I felt like he said, okay, I won this negotiation. I took him to the bank. I took him to the cleaners. And now I'm going to pay Cowboy Nation back. We're going to go win a Super Bowl. And he's basically indicating that Super Bowl will be next year. I believe the window for that Super Bowl is open largest this coming year. Because if we go to year 2 of the Dak deal, what happens?
It jumps 11 million to
33. And then it jumps again to 44, and then it jumps again to 47.
Yeah.
So you're going to have a harder and harder time improving the rest of the team.
But the new TV, when it jumps to 44, Skip, the new TV money kicks in. Okay. So you're probably looking at $230 million. So it won't be.
I hope so. But still, 22.2 next year, you got a shot to have one of those big turnarounds where you go from nowhere to everywhere. You could be one of those teams, those worst to first.
But Skip, y'all not better than Tampa, Green Bay, right now.
I got firepower on offense. If Zeke is even 2/3 of the Zeke that we saw the first 3 years.
But you got no fire on defense.
Okay, but I got Trevon Diggs. Wait a second. I got DeMarcus Lawrence. Is he not a Pro Bowl player? Have we not seen Jalen Smith and Wolf Hunter make Pro Bowls?
You see what you did?
Have we?
You see what you did?
Is Alden Smith a former Pro Bowler who played sort of? Okay, but I've got Randy Gregory can make a Pro Bowl next year. The cupboard is not bare on defense. I got a new coordinator. Just on no Mike Nolan alone, I got a shot.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, you know that.
No, you don't.
After 5 games, I said, you got to get him out of here. They were mutinying.
You just told me over the last 10 years, nobody has had, only the Kansas City Chiefs have drafted more Pro Bowl players.
Correct.
So all that's on the coaches. So them underachieving is all coaches.
No, it's not all coaches. It takes elevated quarterback play.
Yeah.
Does he not have 3 really good receivers?
It takes elevated, consistent play.
Does he have 3 good receivers?
Yes.
Yes. Does he have 2 stud offensive linemen who are only 30 years of age?
What about your receiver? How do your receivers play when they're on the road?
Well, one of them disappears, although he was a little better last year. Amari was a little better. But they didn't have Blake Jarwin all year, right?
Schultz played well.
Schultz played very well, so you got 2 there. I thought Blake Bell played pretty well. So maybe you got 3 if you keep him.
So it's Super Bowl or bust, huh?
Well, that's what he's saying.
What? No,
How
what are
can
you
I not
saying?
embrace that? He owned it. He got his money. He got $164 million for 4 years, right?
Yeah.
He owned it and said, "My God, I'm going to show you."
Well, y'all shortchanged it for the past 5 years, so you should have paid back pay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So good. I love it. And then the final note here is, it gave me a quick RG3 flashback when he did acknowledge that I got to be a little smarter when I run with the ball. Well, you remember the fateful story when RG3's father, after he wrecked his knee, went to Mike Shanahan's office and said, "I'm sorry, coach. My son is now a pocket passer, period, end of story. He will run no more."
Peyton Manning and Tom Brady.
Yeah, he's Peyton Manning or Tom Brady, no more read options.
Right.
Well, it's